So first what we're going to do is I'm just going to go click on Trump in my hierarchy, and I'm going to show you guys the inspector. We have our collider and we have a rigid body, and so that is just a reminder that you guys need to have a rigid body. And then when you build your movement script, basically what you're going to have is you're going to have to drag Trump into your rigid body. Basically you just drag Trump right into your rigid body in your script. So now we're going to go take a look at our script because we need to perfect Unity's player controller that we built. So as you can see, it says if input.getKeyDown key code W, then we're going to add a force to Trump, a vector2 force, and it's going to give him 1,000. And since it's a W key and it's giving him 1,000 on the Y direction and it's a positive, that's going to shoot him up. We use add force for W, and then we're going to be using position change, which I'm going to type that right here. So right down below here, we're basically just going to change a few things. So I'm going to put the A and D key right here, and we're going to add to Trump, we're going to add a position change. And this position change is going to change the X. So it's going to be dot X, and then it's going to give it either plus or minus on the X-axis position change. And we're using the key codes that you learned about in the last episode. You learned about last time, the key codes. If you are confused about that, then go check out this episode here. But what I can tell you is input.getKeyDown we use for jumping, because when you're jumping, you only want that first frame. When you click the key, when it goes down, that first frame is the only frame that you want to actually do something. Now, for moving side to side, for your A and D key, moving side to side, left and right, what this is you want, when you're holding that down, when you're holding that key down, you are actually moving for every single frame. It's in function update, so it's checking that out. So you have get key, and there's no down for A and D. And for time's sake, we're just going to skip the S key, but basically we're just going to, it would just be like the W key, but you're adding a force down. And it's basically the same thing, so we can just skip that over because it's not that important at this point in time in the game. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to go check out the game and see what it looks like right now with our player controller. And we're going to see how Trump responds with just having a W, A, S, and D key. Okay, so now when I move side to side and I press the W key, the W key only works once because it doesn't reset. And you see, so now we're perfecting the player controller. And for that, what we need to do is we need to fix bugs and stuff like that. We added an A and D key, but now we need to fix the problem where he's rotating. So basically what we're going to do with that is we are going to tell it that that rotation is going to stay as is. So right here at the top of function update, in order to do this, we're going to just tell the rotation for Trump, we're just going to tell it that it's going to stay as 0. It's just going to stay as 0. So we say trump.transform.rotation.z equals 0. And that's basically going to tell it it's staying at 0. It's not going to change. And now if we go back to Unity, after saving, Control S, remember that, then what this will give us is it will give us no rotation. You don't see him rotating. No matter what kind of force I give him left or right, you don't see him rotating. So I'm just going to go back into the play mode, and I'm going to show you that when I go left and when I go right, he stays the same. And for the Y rotation, it stays at 0 constantly because he doesn't turn as I turn left. So now I'm going to go fix that, and that's going to be really, really simple. I just have to go to my my key code, my get key input for the key that goes left, which is going to be my A key, and I have to tell it that it's going to change that rotation. It's going to transform Trump's rotation on the Y, because this is the Y. It's going to transform it 180 degrees. Now what this is going to do is it's just going to flip him. And basically when I press the D key, let's just put the same thing in except 0, because that's where he's starting and that's where he's facing when he's facing right. So now if we save it Control S, we go back into Unity. We're really bouncing around today. If we go back to Unity, we take a look at this, you will see he turns and he jumps and it looks flawless. So we have one more flaw, and this needs to be fixed. If you see here, I press the W key, I press it again, I press it again, and he keeps on going. So we need to make it so that he only jumps once. So that's going to use a new function, and that's going to be on collision enter. And basically we're gonna just build an entirely new function. It's on collision enter, and this is going to basically, it's going to tell it when it collides. That's when it resets and everything. So up at the top, we're gonna type var jump, and then we're gonna equal it to false. Also, in our on collision enter 2D, we're going to throw the same thing in there. His jump is going to equal false. So basically what this line says is if input.getKeyDown, keycode.w, if you press the W key, it's going to check if he's jumping, and if it equals false, it's going to allow him to jump. If it's true that he is jumping, then it's not going to let him jump a second time. So then it's going to come up here to on collision enter, and on collision it's going to go jump equals false. When jump equals false, it can repeat this. And so it's a repeating cycle that keeps on going and going and going. So now if I can control S and save this, I go back into Unity, and you'll see that when I try and jump and do the double jump, there it is. I'm jamming the keyboard right now, but it's not letting me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We just basically perfected the player controller for Into the Game Design's basically game. And I hope you guys check us out, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be coming back with a bang in our next episode. So have a great week, guys.